Hello students, so I welcome all of you to your online class and so far we have covered 11 chapters. Okay. So, this 12th chapter is regarding the graphical representation and tabular analysis. So, that is why like I cannot tell this chapter or I cannot explain this chapter under online class. So, that is why I am recording this. Okay. So, some chapters are there like which need the paper and pen kind of things. So, such type of lectures I will be using the recording classes. Okay. Fine. So, this lecture number 12 is regarding to your indifference curve analysis. So, like I have already told you that under cardinal utility approach there were three concepts or there were three laws. They are law of diminishing marginal utility, law of equimarginal utility and consumer surplus. Okay. So, like these three laws we have covered and like by covering these three laws we have completed this cardinal approach chapter. So, now we are starting with ordinal utility approach. Okay. So, under ordinal utility approach there are two concepts or there are two laws. They are indifference curve analysis and budget line. Okay. So, in this chapter we will be studying indifference curve analysis and in next chapter, that is in lecture number 13 we will be studying budget line. Okay. Fine. So, like what is the difference between cardinal utility approach and ordinal utility approach? So, in cardinal utility we will be measuring the satisfaction in terms of mathematical expressions like utils, 1 util, 2 util like that. But under ordinal utility approach we will be studying the satisfaction by giving the preferences or by giving the ranks like from apple I got more satisfaction than mango, or from mango I got more satisfaction than banana. Okay. So, like we will be giving orders like which is highest and which is lowest, but in case of cardinal utility we will be measuring like I got 6% or 6 utils of satisfaction. Okay. So, that is the main difference. So, because of this difference only ordinal utility is having more practical approach. Okay. So, like the ordinal utility approach is more important than cardinal utility because here we will be talking practically. Fine. So, let us start with the first concept under ordinal utility, that is indifference curve analysis. So, students, the points or the topics which we are going to study under this lecture are the meaning of this law and some assumptions we will study, and we will try to like plot the meaning by giving a graph to it. Okay. That is we will explain about the graph and finally, we will end the class by studying its properties and importance. Fine. So, let us start with the meaning of this law. So, this indifference curve is a curve which represents all the combination of two goods which give the same satisfaction to the consumer. Okay. So, here like the thing which you have to remember is this two goods. So, like this law is applicable only for two goods. If there are more than two goods or if there are less than two goods means this law will be not applicable. So, like let us understand this meaning by taking one example. So, this is the example or this is a tabular representation of the law. So, now let me tell you. So, suppose students like you want to have some fruits. Okay. So, for that what you will do, you will go to market and you will purchase some fruits. So, here in definition it is given like this law is applicable for only two commodities or for only two goods. So, that is why you will purchase only two types of fruits. So, what kind of fruits you are purchasing? You are purchasing apple and orange. Okay. So, first what you will do, so like you will consume one apple, sorry. So, first you will consume one apple and 10 orange. Okay. So, by consuming one apple and 10 orange you got some amount of satisfaction. Okay. Fine. So, after that what will happen? So, your friend will come to you and he will ask like he wants some oranges. Okay. So, then what you will do? So, you will tell him like okay, I will give orange to you, but in return to that you have to give apple to me, because here the consumer wants to get the same satisfaction like from combination A what kind of satisfaction he got. So, the same kind of satisfaction he wants to get from the combination B also. So, that is why he will give some 3 oranges to his friend. So, after giving 3 oranges like how much oranges has been left with him? They are 7. Okay. So, he gave 3 oranges and 7 oranges are left with him. So, his friend will give 1 apple to him. Okay. So, initially he was having only 1 apple. So, when his friend will give 1 more apple to him, now it became 2. Okay. So, here the person is sacrificing some oranges with apple. So, next after some time what will happen? So, again his friend will come to him and again he will ask for some oranges. So, this time like what he will do, he will give only 2 oranges, because already like he gave 3 oranges and he had that, means his utility will decrease with the next commodity. So previously he consumed 3 oranges, now like you are giving only 2 oranges to him. Okay, so for that again he will be giving one more apple to you. Like initially you were having 2 apple, and like when he gave one more apple it became 3. So how much oranges you are giving? 2 oranges. Okay, fine. So again after some time again he will come to you, and again he will ask for oranges. So at this time he will give only 1 orange, and now he will give one more apple to you. So your apple quantity became 4. Okay, so initially you have sacrificed 3 oranges with 1 apple. Next you have sacrificed 2 oranges with 1 apple. So again in final you sacrificed 1 orange with 1 apple. So like why you are sacrificing the thing, means you want to get the equal satisfaction from all the combination. So from first combination you got some satisfaction, and from second combination if you are sacrificing orange means you should get some other fruit, So that's why you are telling your friend to give some more apples from him. Okay, so in second combination you are having 2 apples and 7 oranges, so same kind of satisfaction you got. So again in third, so like your friend gave some apple to you and you gave some oranges to him, means you are exchanging the things in such a way that like your satisfaction amount from each combination should remain the same. Okay, so that is the meaning of this law, that is indifference curve. See here we can see the meaning, that is it is a curve. So now why curve means, we will try to draw a graph, so at that time you will understand. So it is a curve which represents all the combination of two goods which give the same satisfaction to the consumer. So these are the combination of goods. So this one and 1 apple and 10 oranges are the first combination of good, and this is the second combination, this is the third combination. So after sacrificing also you are getting the same kind of satisfaction. So in such a way you have to sacrifice. Okay, so that is nothing but the meaning. So now let's try to plot this graph, that is this is your x axis and this is your y axis, and this is the origin. Okay, so these are the apples 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the oranges 4, 5, 7 and 10. Okay, so students, for 1 apple initially you are having 10 oranges. Okay, so when you have given 3 oranges to your friend, only 7 oranges has been left with you. So at that time 7 orange and 2 apple, 7 and 2. Next 5 and 3, 5 and 3. Next 4 and 4. Okay, so like this the graph will come. Okay, this convex shaped graph will come. So this is the graph of indifference curve, like that is indifference curve graph will look something like this. Okay, fine. So this is about the meaning, tabular representation and graphical representation. So now let's see the assumptions of this law. Fine. So the first assumption is consumer should be rational. So students, this assumption is same as that of your previous laws, that is here also the consumer should be a normal human being and his aim should be to maximize profit. Okay, so rational means normal human being whose aim will be to maximize his profit. So that is the first assumption. And next one is there should be only 2 commodities. So just now I told you that under this law only 2 commodities are applicable. Okay, so if 3 commodities are there means it will become confusing for you to sacrifice the things. If only 2 are there means you can sacrifice one thing for other, means you can exchange one for like one with other. Okay, so that's why under this law only 2 commodities will be preferable. So third one is ordinal measurement of utility. So students, like in previous laws, like those laws were under cardinal approach and this law is under ordinal approach. So that's why here we are measuring the utility in terms of rankings or preferences. Okay, like exchanging of one good with another, means exchanging some 3 oranges with 1 apple. Okay, but here we are not telling like after exchanging he got 10 units of satisfaction, 9 utils of satisfaction, like that we are not telling. We are just telling that the 2 friends are exchanging the commodities so that they should get the same satisfaction finally. Okay, so that is nothing but your ordinal measurement of utility. So that is the measurement of utility here is ordinally, that is by giving a rank or preference. Okay, so the last assumption is diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So like this assumption is a little different for you. So let me explain you by taking this table. See students, marginal rate of substitution is nothing but how much amount you are sacrificing with one another. Okay, so like for first apple, how much you are sacrificing? uh, for first apple, how much you are sacrificing? 3 oranges. For second apple, 2 oranges, and for third apple, only 1 orange. Okay, so like from 3 it became 2, and from 2 it became 1, means your sacrificing level is decreasing, because first his capacity will be more and he can consume 3 orange, next his capacity will reduce, so that's why you are giving only 2 orange. Okay, so here the marginal rate of substitution is nothing but the amount of sacrification, like the quantity of sacrificing commodity, means how much quantity you are sacrificing with other commodity. So that is nothing but marginal rate of substitution. So in general, if marginal rate of substitution is decreasing, means curve will take a convex shape. Okay, so that's why indifference curve is having a convex shape here. Okay, so that is the fourth assumption. So here fourth assumption is nothing but diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So your marginal rate of substitution is decreasing from 3 to 2 and 3 to 1. So that's why it is given as diminishing marginal rate of substitution. So here you can see the definition also. Like what is the definition of marginal rate of substitution? So it is the rate at which consumer is ready to exchange goods X and Y. So marginal rate of substitution of X for Y is the amount of Y consumer has to give up to gain one additional unit of X. Means he is giving something as he is giving something and he is taking something back. Okay, so that is nothing but marginal rate of substitution. You are substituting something with some other. Okay, so here under indifference curve, so this marginal rate of substitution will be decreasing. Okay, fine. So these are about the four assumptions. They are, first one is he should be a normal human being having a aim of maximizing his profit. Second one is there should be only 2 commodities. Third one is you should measure the satisfaction by giving some ranks, you should not measure it by utils. Fourth one is marginal rate of substitution will be decreasing. Okay, fine. These are the four assumptions. So now we will study about the properties. So in total there are 6 properties. So like we will study one by one. So just now we have plotted this graph. So the properties are regarding to this graph only, like what are the characteristics or what exactly the meaning of this graph. Okay, fine. So students, here you can see that the shape, the first property is about the shape of the curve. So what is the shape of the curve? It is convex. Okay, so if any graph is in this shape, means it will be convex, and if any graph is in this shape, means it will be concave. But here our indifference curve is in convex shape. So just now I told you the reason. So why it is getting convex shape, means here marginal rate of substitution is decreasing. Okay, so for any curve, if marginal rate of substitution will be decreasing, then that curve will take convex. So otherwise convex shape. So otherwise it will take concave shape. Okay, so this is the first property, that is indifference curve assume convex shape. So what is the second property? Indifference curve show slope downward to the right. So students, like in previous law also I have told, that is demand curve. So when your price is increasing, what happens to your quantity demanded? It will decrease. Okay, so that's why the demand curve was taking negative slope. So if any commodity is increasing and if other commodity is decreasing, means so such commodities will take, or such curve will take negative slope. Here the relationship between price and quantity is inverse relationship. One is increasing and one is decreasing. Okay, so in case if one is decreasing and one is increasing, means so that curve should take negative slope only. So here also you can see, so in indifference curve, so like here it is increasing from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Okay, but here what is happening? It's decreasing. It's decreasing from 10 to 7, 7 to 5, and 5 to 4. Okay, so here apple quantity is increasing and oranges quantity is decreasing, because you are sacrificing oranges for your friend. Okay, so that's why this curve also takes a negative slope. So that is indifference curve slopes downward to the right. So like sloping downward to the right is nothing but taking a negative slope. So that is about the second property. So what is the third property? Third property is indifference curves cannot intersect each other. See students, for example, if you want to draw any two indifference curve, means you have to draw like this. These will never intersect. Okay, so these two curves will never intersect like this. So here you can see one is coming over the other. So it should not happen. Why? Because so like the utilities for this curve will be different and the utilities for this curve will be different. Okay, so here we will be talking about two different commodities and here we will be talking about two different commodities. So if they come one over the other means it will be like a combination of four commodities, but in this law what they are telling, only two commodities are preferable. Okay, so that's why according to third property, indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Fine. So let's talk about the fourth property. So, a higher indifference curve represents a higher level of satisfaction than a lower indifference curve. So, let me give you an example for this. See, this is one indifference curve, okay, and this is the second indifference curve. So, as we go from one difference to another indifference curve, your satisfaction level will increase, because here like the quantity you are consuming will be highest. Okay, so that's why like higher indifference curve means higher level of satisfaction. So this is the property you have to remember. So here also you can see, so like as we move upwards, your satisfaction level will increase, and here you will be sacrificing only some two goods with two commodities, but here the quantity will be more. Okay, so that's why this curve will be having more importance, like here you will be exchanging more commodities with more of your friends. Okay, so that's why a higher indifference curve represents a higher level of satisfaction. So in your examination you may get a question like they will give you two curves in a single graph like this. So this is a graph, like the same kind of questions you will get. So they will ask, so they will give one name for this like A, and for this they will keep one name like C, and they will give some options like whether A is having higher satisfaction or whether C is having more satisfaction. Okay, so in that you have to take A. Okay, because it is in a higher position, so the curve which will be in higher position, it will be having higher satisfaction. So that is the fourth property. So let's see the fifth property. Indifference curve never touches both axes. See students, so if you want to draw any indifference curve means you should start from here to here only, like you should not touch to these axes, because if you are touching this axis means your here it will be 0. If you are touching this axis means you are consuming nothing. 0 means nothing. Okay, so like you will be, if you are consuming something means you that commodity should start with the number 1. Okay, and that should end with some other numbers, that should not end with 0. So that's why indifference curve never touches both axes. If it touches means there will be no meaning for that. And the last property is indifference curve will be parallel to each other. So just now I had told you that they should not get intersect with each other. If you want to draw two lines means you should draw like one above the other. Fine. So students, these are the like 6 different properties of indifference curve. So like if you understand these things means then like you will be able to remember. The first one is nothing but it is having convex shape because of marginal rate of substitution is decreasing. Second one is it is sloping downward, means the slope is negative because one fruit like one fruit quantity is increasing and another fruit quantity is decreasing. Third one is they will not intersect with each other because like both curves will be having different satisfaction. Next one is like the above curve will be having more satisfaction and below curve will be having less satisfaction because the quantity exchanging will be different. Next one is they will not touch the two axes like x and y, because x and y axis will be having 0 number. Okay, so if 0 number means 0 commodity they are consuming, then there will be no meaning. So the last property is like they are parallel to each other. Fine. So these are the like 6 properties. So the last topic is importance of indifference curve. Okay students, the first importance here is importance to consumers. Okay, so consumers are nothing but like we the common people who will be going to market and purchasing some commodities. So what we will do, so we will first we will try to plot this graph on a paper, and like different some 2 to 3 indifference curves will get. So by studying that graph we'll get to know, like we will choose which graph, so the graph which is taking the highest position, because that curve will be having or that slope will be having highest satisfaction. Okay, so this graph will help us to select the commodities so that from which will get higher satisfaction. Okay, so this indifference curve will help the consumers in selecting the combination of goods which will be having highest satisfaction. So the next one is consumer surplus. So what is the meaning of consumer surplus? So consumer surplus is nothing but the amount what like a consumer is willing to pay and what he actually pays. Okay, so like what is the benefit of this consumer surplus? So like like a person wants to get highest consumer surplus, means he wants to gain highest satisfaction. So how this indifference curve will help him means, suppose like after plotting a graph, like here uh, he will get some points like A, B, C, D. Okay, so these all points will be having combination of goods that is having same kind of satisfaction. So like the consumer will see this graph and he will get to know like from A also I'm getting this kind of satisfaction, from B also I'm getting this kind of satisfaction, so I have to pay the same amount for everything. Okay, so that's how the consumer surplus will be affected by this indifference curve analysis. So the next one is complete explanation of demand. So students, like how it is helping in demand means, actually there are three important laws under demand. Okay, uh, like uh, uh, other than telling laws, I can tell you like these are the concepts. Like the concept names are income effect, substitution effect, and price effect. Okay, so like these are the three important definitions which we are going to study in future chapter. So like to study these concepts, like the base is this indifference curve. Okay, so like in the future concepts I will tell about this, so you just remember that the indifference curve will give complete explanation of demand, because this indifference curve is helping to get these kind of definitions under demand concept. Okay, so that's why this importance has been kept under this, that is indifference curve will help in complete explanation of demand. So the now the next importance is in the field of production. Like in production, how it will help means, so like if any businessman want to produce something means, what he will do, like again he will try to plot this graph. Like he will be having certain resources with him, so by using those resources he will try to plot this graph. Okay, so then he will get certain points like different combination A, B, C. So these A, B, C will be having same kind of satisfaction. So like for example, this A, B, C are labor wages. So for these three labors he will give same salary, he can give same salary. Okay, because from three of those labors he is getting same kind of satisfaction, same kind of work. So it will be useful for the businessman or the owner to distribute this salary. Okay, fine. So the next importance is in the field of exchange. So exchange is also again it's helping for the businessman students, like what kind of resources he exchange with others. So like if any indifference curve is above this means, he can exchange these goods with these things. Okay, because here he will be getting more satisfaction. Next one is in the field of distribution. So students, here actually the like 6th and 7th points are having the same meaning, that is in the field of distribution and in the field of public finance. Means like these two are related to government sector. So what government will do, so like it will try to differentiate these sectors, like the education sector, the health sector, and the rural sector and the urban sector. Okay, so like which field is doing better, like the government will try to explain by plotting this graph. Okay, so first the government will take some data from the ministries, and those all things the government will try to plot by using this indifference curve. Means first it will see like which sectors are giving same level of satisfaction. So here satisfaction is nothing but the revenue or the profit they are getting, means the profit the government is getting from those sectors. Okay, so for such sectors the government will get same indifference curve. Like if education sector and rural sector is giving same profit means, so those two sectors will be kept under same curve. Okay, so for such sectors the government will allocate more money in the future. Okay, so like for government it will help to differentiate between the sectors according to their revenue generated. Okay, so that's how this indifference curve is beneficial for the society. Like first it will help for the normal consumers in selecting the goods which are having same satisfaction. Second in consumer surplus also it will help, like it will help the person to get more consumer surplus by selecting the goods having the same satisfaction. Next one is like it will try to help in explanation of demand concepts. Like three concepts are there that we will study in future chapter. And next in the field of production means if you want to produce something means, there to use the resources, this law will help. Okay, so the resources that are having same satisfaction you can use that. Next one is in the field of exchange, in the field of distribution, and in the field of public finance, that is for government it will help. Okay, fine. So these are the importance of indifference curve. So in next chapter we will study about the next concept. Fine, thank you.